come to get a room, huh? I can't hear the scores. I can't hear nothing.
Last call, folks. Come on. Go back to the west side. Stop denting my bar.
All right.
I take one night off and drink at another bar. What happened? You got jealous?
Well, I couldn't let you miss the chance to pick up a case.
Yeah, all right. Who got killed?
Evelyn, the waitress.
You're kidding.
Cops already got the guy who did it.
Anybody I know?
Jesus.
The busboy? That can't be.
What's going on?
Murder. And this time they definitely got the wrong guy.
Uh-huh.
What's your problem?
After the last case, forgive me if I'm being a bit skeptical.
One client turns out to be a serial killer, and now they're all guilty? Why is he talking to the cops? Jesus, tiene el derecho a permanecer callado.
Grant, I don't think he's speaking Spanish. It sounds like Tagalog. Is Jesus from the Philippines?
I always figured him to be Latino, but what was that language?
Tagalog?
Tagalog, okay. Hey, Dan, you speak Tagalog?
Yeah, now step back.
Really?
Yeah, really. I was born in Manila.
Oh, well, if you know what he's saying, then you know you're violating his Miranda rights. You can't use anything he's telling you.
He hasn't invoked his Miranda rights. Now step back.
Stop talking. Don't say anything. Stop.
Hook this man up right now!
What are you doing? I'm stopping him from talking his way into a lethal injection.
You can't arrest him.
Shut up! What's the matter with you? You know better than this.
Excuse me, for a second I remembered I'm a lawyer. So if you don't open your mouth, you don't get in trouble. Silence is golden, boys. Cops pull you over, you don't say a word, you don't talk. All of you with DUIs, listen up. I gotta go, boys. Don't forget to use my number. You speak to my client again, and I'll sue you personally on a Bivens action.
Huwag mo kong iiwan na dito. Nasaan ka po?
Whatever you're saying, stop talking.
Maniwala ka sa akin, maniwala. Ito ang pamilya ko. Anak ko yan.
God, you talk more than Skip.
Hindi ko siya pinatay. Sinusupa ko.
Okay.
Hey, look who escaped.
Released on my own recognizance, thank you very much. Just out of curiosity, were you two ever gonna look into bail?
Oh, well, when you called, you asked us to go get the discovery reports in the Lima case right away. Your bail was the next thing on the list. I swear.
Oh, forget it.
I still can't believe they arrested you.
Ain't the first time.
Grant, you have to stop hitting our clients.
This time it was for our client's own good. He was talking too much. Did you ever find out what he said?
According to the reports, Jesus told the police he hated the dead woman.
Everybody in the bar knew that. She wouldn't share her tips with the busboys.
Well, that is a motive.
To kill her? No way, man. Jesus was the gentlest guy you ever saw. He wouldn't hurt a fly. And believe me, in a bar like this, he had plenty of chances.
Oh, they caught him hiding out here right beside where the dead woman's car was parked.
Yeah, so? He's an illegal. Cops make him nervous. He always hides out here until the cops leave. I've seen him.
Jury's gonna love hearing he's illegal.
Irrelevant. We'll move to keep it out. The jury will never hear it.
So they will hear that he was hiding and we won't be able to explain why. Also, they found the gun right behind that dumpster 12 feet away from me.
What are you, the DA now?
I'm just looking at the facts, Grant. I'm being analytical.
No, you're being a downer. Get behind. Our client didn't do it. You know why? Because he didn't.
Grant, you don't even speak his language. How can you know he's innocent?
27 years in the business, my friend, gives me the right to have an opinion. And in my opinion, he didn't do it. Look at this. It's kind of family. I was in jail with him all night and he cried the whole time.
Maybe, Grant, he was upset about having just killed someone.
What have I told you about being cynical? Just because our last guy was guilty doesn't mean this one is. Come on, man.
Thank you.
Whoa. So, when will Ms. Lynch's press conference be over? Hello? Nice talking to you.
Just how many trials have you lost to her, Grant?
Let me think. All of them.
Well, what makes her so good? I mean, besides...
Honestly, I don't have any idea. She's smart enough, I guess, but she's just so phony sweet. I don't know what jury's seeing her.
I am just so sorry. Those doc-up reporters take forever. I'm Lisa Lynch. I'm a prosecutor.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm David Ross.
I've heard about you, Mr. Ross. There's been talk about you at the DA's office.
Oh, is that good?
It means you've been winning. But I don't believe we've ever worked together before, have we?
He's not working with you now, Lisa. He's my
You
associate.
see, Mr. Ross, I think when lawyers try a case, regardless of which side they're on, they're working together for justice.
That's good. You should put that on T-shirts.
Mr. Cooper hasn't asked me about a plea deal yet. It's a record.
Our guy's innocent.
Oh, now, come on. On these facts, please.
I mean it. We're going for a straight acquittal at trial.
You're serious? Okay. What do you say we rocket docket this? Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice relies on the decision-making process of American citizens acting as jurors.
I wrote the...
I know. UCLA Law Review. I quote it often. It's just wonderful.
Come on, Skip, let's get out of here before I throw up.
Wait. At least hear my plea offer.
I told you, we're going for Mr. Lima's acquittal.
I wasn't talking about him. Mr. Cooper can plead out to misdemeanor assault, all except probation, anger management courses, and a fine. That way only your client will go to prison, not your boss.
Never happened. Let me ask you something. How come you're handling the Lima case? I thought you only went after the high-profile killings.
Illegal immigration is destroying California. And they just keep coming. It has got to stop.
You can't mention he's an illegal at trial. It's irrelevant. Oh, I get it. You're running for DA.
We think the motive was robbery. Her wallet was gone. This is for you. Ballistics. Evelyn was shot with Lima's .38.
Lima doesn't own a .38. He's never held a gun in his life.
Really? I can't wait to hear how his fingerprints got on it.
Does Cooper spend much time here?
On his tax returns, he lists this as his primary residence.
You're gonna have to wait outside, boyo. No minors allowed. You, of course, can stay.
Actually, under the law, and I quote, persons under 21 may enter a bar on lawful business, end quote.
He knows the law. He's just trying to separate you from your girlfriend. So what? You two out on a date?
No, Kate's here to interview you. She's agreed to defend you in your assault case. She's brilliant. Plus, you need to find someone to do this. I can't. I'm a witness to what happened.
Not the best you could do.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. You just passed the bar.
So did I.
Exactly. Have you ever been in a court?
Look, if you don't want me, Mr. Cooper, that's fine. I'm sure the public defender will do a good job. You are destitute, right?
Moxie, I like that. Up to a point. Jacobs, come over here and talk to my lawyer. Jacobs here saw the whole thing. He's a degenerate gambler, but other than that, he's okay. Hey, is that a new Rolex?
No, it's fake. You want the Clippers? I'll give you the line plus 5.
Could I just speak to you about Mr. Cooper's arrest?
Hey, aren't slot machines illegal?
Not a slot machine. It's a gaming device.
Yeah. You pick a number. Every 3 minutes, the numbers change. You pick the right ones, you get paid.
Well, this one's worth $5,000. Are these all winning tickets?
Don't touch them. They're copies.
Tell us about that night.
Well, Evelyn left early, about 2 hours before last call.
Can I have some oatmeal, please? Thank you. I'm hungry.
Why'd Evelyn leave early?
Well, she did that sometimes, Coop. You know, she'd meet a customer she liked. But that night, I remember she left alone.
What about Jesus? Did he work the whole night?
He only left when the police came.
Thank you. Actually, could I have a little bit of maple syrup or rice milk? What? So, you're certain that Jesus is innocent?
Absolutely. He's no killer, believe me.
Of course he isn't. I'll give you an example. One night I was sitting in here and a cockroach was running across the bar. Jesus comes over and he picks it up gently, he takes it outside and lets it go. He couldn't even kill it. What does that tell you?
I shouldn't eat here.
What about the gun? Did he say how his fingerprints got on the gun?
He said he found it lying in the alley when he ran out. He only grabbed it to defend himself because he was afraid the police would shoot him. He heard they do that here. But he got scared and threw it behind a dumpster.
Will you ask him if he needed money? And if he ever dated the waitress or ever wanted to date the waitress?
Hold on, what are you doing?
I'm checking to see if he had a motive to kill her.
He didn't kill her. Plus, when he was arrested, he didn't have any money on him. So robbery's not a motive.
Okay, what about jealousy? We have to check, Grant. Whether you think he did it or not, we have to check.
The one client I say is innocent, you have to say he's guilty. You know what you are? You're a contrarian.
No, I'm not. Well, yes, I sound like one now.
He said that all of his money goes to his family back in the Philippines. So, yes, he could always use more money. And no, he never dated the woman or wanted to. He's married. The photo he gave you is his wife and daughter. They're still in Manila. He wanted you to see the photo so you'd know he was a good man.
Paniwala kayo sa akin, Ginoong Cooper. Hindi ko siya pinatay. Sinusupa ko, Ginoong Cooper.
He said that...
I know what he said. He wants me to help him. Tell him not to be scared. Tell him we won't let him down.
Oh, thank God you're here. The court is in session. Oh, was it traffic?
Take your brief back.
No, I wrote it for you.
You know how insulting that is? I can handle this myself.
No, I know you're just so busy, Kate. All you have to do is argue from it like in law school.
That happened once. And by the way, were you gonna tell me prosecutor of the years on the other side? Lynch is a legend.
I didn't think it was relevant.
You knew I wouldn't do it.
Well, I'm sorry, Kate.
Skip, I was up all night. I haven't been this nervous since moot court.
Well, hey, you were great that night.
You beat me.
Well, we're on the same side now. You're gonna do fine in there, Kate. Really. Just don't do that thing you did in moot court where you mispronounced. You're gonna do fine.
People versus Grant H. Cooper on calendar for preliminary hearing.
I knew you would be here as a criminal defendant one day, Mr. Cooper.
So you're going to recuse yourself from my case, right?
Let the record reflect that I was making a joke.
Right. I forgot what a funny guy you are.
Don't talk, Cooper. You're not a lawyer on this one. You're a client. Let your lawyer speak for you.
Kate, Manat, on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Cooper. Mr. Cooper faces assault charges on Mr. Lima. Our position is that the charge is legally impossible to prove.
Why?
Well, because Mr. Cooper has a complete consent defense.
Excuse me?
Black letter law, you can't be convicted of assault if the person you hit consented to being hit.
So Mr. Lima is saying he wanted to be hit by Mr. Cooper.
I'm sure Mr. Lima will willingly sign an affidavit that will say that he relied on his lawyer to protect his constitutional rights.
Which Mr. Cooper did by hitting him. That's your argument.
Yes?
I just want to make sure I understand. Is Ms. Manat saying that Mr. Cooper's slap, in essence, led Mr. Lima to invoke his right to remain silent?
Yes. And also, as a practical matter, if this goes to trial, Mr. Lima will testify that he consented to any action Mr. Cooper took to protect his legal rights. The DA can't possibly win here, Your Honor.
Really? And your authority?
Common sense?
Oh. That's refreshing.
Your Honor, we submit.
On this record, it is clear Mr. Cooper struck Mr. Lima. On these facts, the case must go to trial. But Ms. Manat is right. Consent is a complete defense. I'm sure Ms. Lynch has better things to do than trying hopeless cases.
Indeed. I think Mr. Cooper has learned his lesson and won't be obstructing other investigations.
Hey, I didn't obstruct this one.
Learn to take yes for an answer, Mr. Cooper. Your assault charge is dismissed.
Seriously? Thank you so much.
Don't thank me. I'm applying the law.
And under the law, Your Honor, I assume that Mr. Lima's statements to the police are admissible? The ones in which he admitted hating the dead woman and holding the murder weapon?
Wait, we haven't even had a chance to litigate that yet.
There's no need. Ms. Manat just conceded Mr. Lima never invoked his Miranda rights until after he was slapped.
He didn't understand his Miranda rights.
They were read to him in Tagalog.
The police didn't explain his rights to him. They wouldn't let us explain them to him either.
They don't have to explain it to him. They have to read it. They did in Tagalog. Under the law, whether he actually understood everything is irrelevant. His statements are coming in.
You know, I pride myself on being a fairly jaded guy. But I never fully realized just how unethical you are. You used the charge against me to create a record to get Jesus' statements in.
Don't get all high horse on me.
Oh, I'm entitled to get a little high horse on you. You're trying to convict an innocent man because he's an immigrant.
An illegal immigrant.
Who doesn't speak English and didn't understand his rights.
So he claims. Anyway, just think about how good you'd feel about yourself if you walked him.
Just out of curiosity, the publicity, the awards, is it worth it?
Oh, no, Grant, you know everything I do is ethical.
No, that wasn't a question. Is it worth it?
Is what worth it?
You know, building your career on the backs of poor guys who didn't do it, pissing all over the law, being a hoe for publicity, ignoring the Bill of Rights. What the hell was that?
Something I should have done years ago. Something we both want. I am finally doing something about our sexual tension.
Wait. We don't have sexual tension. We have tension.
Oh, I know we tease, Grant, but don't joke about this.
Do I look like I'm joking? I think you knocked a filling loose.
Are you saying you don't have any feelings for me?
Well, they're not good feelings. I mean, if they ever find you dead, I'd probably be a suspect. A very good suspect. Wait a minute, are you serious?
I was. And I'm usually a very intuitive person. Good luck in trial. I assure you this won't affect my performance.
Could she have kissed you just to mess with you? And do lawyers actually do that?
Most wouldn't, but Lynch might.
Boo.
So, what's your defense going to be? You must have a theory by now.
We don't have to tell you that.
Actually, legally you do. If you're going with insanity or alibi or self-defense or duress or...
Insanity. He's not guilty by reason of insanity.
Who's your expert?
Lefevre. Jim Lefevre.
What happened to reasonable doubt? When did we decide on insanity? Who's Jim Lefevre?
Dodger Rookie of the Year 1963, and we're not going with insanity. I was just messing with her. Trials are about gamesmanship, Skip. Gamesmanship and control.
What are you doing?
Looking for an edge, putting us in a better sightline for the jury.
Lying about our defense is not gamesmanship, it's just lying. The judge is gonna be mad at you for moving the furniture.
Only if he notices. And hell yes, I sandbagged her. She'd do the same to us.
The powder burns and stippling wounds show that she was shot at close range by someone sitting with her in the car.
And what did you conclude from that?
Since there were no signs of a struggle and she was in her own car, we assume the shooter was someone she knew and trusted.
The defendant is from the Philippines. Now, without making any reference to his immigration status, you interviewed the defendant at the scene in Tagalog?
Yes, he admitted to disliking the woman and he admitted to having possession of the murder weapon.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Lieutenant, did you check our client's hands for gunpowder or bullet residue?
Those tests are overrated. Many times the shooter's hands won't test for powder or bullet residue.
So the answer is no? You didn't test for those things?
No,
You interviewed our client at the crime scene.
I did.
He was terrified, wasn't he?
He was upset.
And you took advantage of that. You yelled and intimidated him into making statements.
I never yelled at your client, counselor.
Okay, fine. You spoke to him loudly in an intimidating way.
I never even raised my voice. I spoke very quietly and calmly.
I see. Guns are loud, aren't they?
Yes, counselor, guns are loud.
Car interiors are small. I mean, my car interior's small. The dead woman's car interior was small.
Yeah, the inside of a car is small.
So, after he shot the woman, the shooter's hearing would have been affected, but you didn't have to yell at our client to be heard, did you? I mean, you just said you didn't.
No.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
No. I didn't have to yell at your client.
Got it. Thank you. Nothing further.
Who the hell are you?
Your new interpreter. The other interpreter was called away to handle a DA interview. Are you the defendant?
Nakita ko yung baril sa eskinita. Tinampot ko kasi akala ko lahat ng tao sa Amerika pwedeng magkaroon ng baril. Naisip ko pwede ko yung gamitin yun para proteksyon o di kaya ibibenta. Kasi wala akong pera. Pero natakot ako at itinapon ko sa basura.
I didn't kill her.
What? What do you, I mean, he had to have said more than that.
Objection.
Sustained.
Your Honor, he isn't interpreting everything. He can't be.
Get up here, Mr. Ross, and bring Mr. Cooper with you. Now. For the record, we had 92 different languages spoken in LA courts last year. That's more than any other court system in the world. We also have a shortage of interpreters and a state legislature that won't pay for more. Do you know how many Tagalog interpreters we have? 3 in the whole county. Those are the facts. So, for the record, I find that your client's right to be understood has been met.
But, Your Honor,
You're not
clearly...
the witness or the court-certified interpreter in this case. You're an arrogant young lawyer trying to set up an issue on appeal, and I won't have it. Now step back.
No. We're going to stand here for a second and smile and laugh so that the jury thinks we're doing really good and not getting spanked. You sent the good interpreter to another court. You're a cheap shot artist.
And you're nothing but a liar. You're not going with insanity.
No.
You're a low-rent ambulance chaser drunk. You're Joe Cooper.
Yeah, well.
Pathetic. You're destroying your career. You do know that, right?
Thanks for that. I've never liked you know that. We can step back now.
Son, now is when you go back to your chair.
Did you hear what they just said?
I've heard worse. If you can't handle it, why in the hell are you trying cases?
How does the DA get away with playing so dirty?
Everybody likes law and order nowadays. Nobody cares how the guy gets convicted, just so long as he's convicted. Unless, of course, they're celebrities, and then nobody convicts them. But I don't get those clients. Oh, no. No Robert Blakes for me. Nope. I get the illegal Filipino busboy who speaks Tagalog. What are you still doing here?
I'm fascinated by your trial skills, Mr. Cooper.
I buy that. What are you doing?
Thinking.
We don't have time for that. We gotta be back in court.
I keep wondering, why was Evelyn killed? Rage? I don't think so. Sure, she was a bad waitress, but nobody was that mad about it, so then okay, I thought, what about jealousy? But everybody's...
Money. She was robbed.
Right, that's what Lynch thinks, but we know Evelyn was shot by someone she knew. And anybody who knew her knew she didn't make that much, right?
This is Venice, man. People get killed out here for chump change.
Right, but there was something I noticed the first time I came in here. This winning ticket for $5,000 was sold here, which is a lot of money.
Look, genius, it was sold the day before she was killed, so what?
But Evelyn left her shift early, right before midnight. So she could have won it that night, the same night she was killed, and been found a few hours later, after midnight.
But anyone here could have played that machine. Maybe they won.
Well, did you notice anybody playing the machine that night?
No, but whoever cashed that ticket would have to sign for it at an Instadraw office, so there'd be a record.
Jeff Jacobs. He was in the bar that night. And if he was in here, he'd be sitting in his usual spot right there by the machine.
Well, maybe he played the Instadraw. Maybe he won the ticket.
Nah. He's a degenerate gambler. He's not an idiot. Wouldn't play Instadraw. It's a sucker's bet.
Well, maybe he saw Evelyn win.
Jacobs didn't do it. He's broke.
He has a new Rolex.
Yeah, he said it was fake.
That's a lie. I didn't say anything to you guys before because he was going to be a witness for Cooper. Didn't you see the sweeping second hand? That means it's a real Rolex. Okay, so I know jewelry.
This is your theory?
Someone won a $5,000 ticket right before Evelyn left her shift.
She played the machine, not Jacobs.
Yeah, we checked. He cashed the ticket at an Instadraw office in Inglewood.
Why are you telling me this?
Well, why do you think? We're in trial. The judge can't dismiss the case at this point, only you can.
Why not tell the jury? Or are you afraid you won't be able to convince them? You afraid you won't win?
You afraid you're going to lose to me?
This isn't supposed to be a game. You're the prosecutor. A prosecutor's job is to pursue justice, and that means going after the real killer. The prosecutor wins when justice is done. That's from my law review article. The one you quoted before, or did you not read that part?
Would have been nice to finally beat Lynch in trial, huh?
Yeah, but the best thing for our client now is for Lynch to dismiss the case rather than risking a verdict.
You're late, Miss Lynch.
I apologize. Something unexpected came up. I want to alert the court there's been a dramatic discovery in this case. We have a rebuttal witness. The people call Jeff Jacobs.
So what do we do?
Don't worry, Skip. When I get done cross-examining this guy, they're gonna need dental records to identify him.
I did cash the Instadraw ticket, but I cashed it for somebody else.
Who did you cash the ticket for?
Jesus Lima. He killed Evelyn for it, and then he gave it to me before the cops came.
Objection! The prosecutor has completely sandbagged us.
Your Honor, this is rebuttal. We've only just learned this witness existed. We've provided the defense discovery in as timely a fashion as we could, and they will have ample time to cross-examine.
Overruled.
Well, he knew that if he cashed it, he'd be tying himself to the murder, so I did it for him.
You've agreed to plead guilty for your role in this crime?
Yes, I cashed the ticket knowing it was stolen. That was wrong.
Thank you. No further questions.
Sir, that is the most ridiculous...
Stop. It's 5 o'clock. We'll pick up in the morning.
Now, hold on.
My court orders are clear. Trials are from 9 to 5 every day. We are in recess.
Skip, what you've just seen is a classic stall. She delayed her witness till the end of the day so that the jury goes home with his lies ringing in their ears. I didn't lay a glove on him. Our client's whole life comes down to one cross-examination. I hate Lynch. I hate trials more.
Hey.
I thought Cooper might need some help on the cross. I could mock it with you or whatever.
Oh, that's a great idea. Thank you. Well, too bad Cooper isn't here to do it.
He's not. That cross is your whole case. Where is he? Bar?
I can't tell him what to do. He wouldn't listen, anyway. You know, Kate, it's kind of funny that you keep hanging around here so much. You know what I think it means?
I like you.
No. That wasn't it. I think it means you want to do trials.
You're right. And I'll never get to do that, Marshall Brickman, at least not for another 10 years.
Which is why you should come here. Work with us.
Please. With Grant H. Cooper, I'm sorry, but the guy's phony charm and that hair, come on.
Well, underneath all that hair and bonhomie, he's a really great trial lawyer, Kate. Honestly, I mean, not always, but I like him.
I know you do. I just don't get why. I mean, your client's life is on the line, and Cooper's at a bar. Skip, you can do so much better.
I did a list of examination areas.
Don't need it, thanks.
Are you ready? Where were you?
Thinking.
And drinking. You convinced me he's innocent. I admit I got cynical. I won't let it happen again, but Grant, his life is in your hands. This crosses everything, and hanging out at a bar
Skip.
instead of preparing?
Not now. In fact, not ever. I'm ready. Trust me.
Good morning, Mr. Cooper. Cross?
Yes, Your Honor. This should go pretty quick. If I can't take this guy out with 6 questions, they ought to take my bar card.
Objection.
Let me ask the questions first. I only have 6.
Then ask one.
Jeff, we know each other, right?
For the record, does that count as one of his 6 questions?
Now, that's not a legal objection, but yes, that's my first question.
I've known you from the bar, yeah. I've seen you in there pretty much every night for the past few years.
Question 2, are you the type of guy that lies to help himself out?
No.
I thought you might say that. That's why I made question number 3 really, really easy. You've lied to your ex-wife, your boss, your ex-bosses, your friends, the cops, and to me to cover your gambling losses and to get more money to gamble and to avoid being arrested for gambling. True or false?
I guess pretty much true.
And you're getting a reduced sentence and avoiding the death penalty by lying about my client.
No, What I said was that...
Oh, easy, Chief. That wasn't a question. That's a fact. Move into evidence the witness's own written cooperation agreement with the DA, laying out how he's getting a reduced sentence for lying about my client.
I object to the word lying. Move to strike as argumentative.
Sustained, the jury will decide if he's lying, but the cooperation agreement can come in. The jury can consider it as a motive for this witness to lie.
Question 4. Did you have trouble hearing the night of the shooting? It's a yes or no question. I can recall the bartender to testify about it if that helps. I mean, the cop said that the shooter would have some hearing loss.
I had a cold that night.
So that would be a yes. You had trouble hearing that night. Is that why you zipped your jacket all the way up? Because you had a cold?
Yeah.
Oh. You see, I would have thought that it was to cover up the blood spatter on the front of your shirt. Last question. What exactly did my client say to you about that lottery ticket?
I told you already. He said he...
No. In Tagalog. Jesus doesn't speak English. Your witness.
Redirect, Your Honor.
No. Chambers, now. Lisa, what the hell is going on out there? Your cooperating witness just went down in blue flames.
I would like to have the chance to rehabilitate him on redirect.
He's a pathological liar. Why give him a deal?
Look, when Mr. Cooper suggested the man's involvement, I assumed it was a ploy to...
Brought this guy to you?
You're damn right we did. Check her appointment book. We went to her office and we told her we thought Jacobs was the killer, and she goes out and cuts a deal with him to convict our client. Let me ask you something. Did he come up with that story on his own, or did you tell him what to say?
I am not going to stand here and be insulted by the likes of Grant H. Cooper, for God's sakes.
You're going to stand here and answer his questions.
He's not asking questions. He's accusing me of obstructing justice and suborning perjury.
Ah, don't be so sensitive. For the record, I think you just acted out of stubbornness and stupidity.
Your Honor, I object to...
Lisa, was there a witness there when you interviewed this guy? A tape recording? Anything?
No, there wasn't time. But just so we're clear, based on these facts, I have every right to still think that Lima was the shooter and this witness was an accessory after the fact. I cut a deal with the less guilty defendant to convict the more guilty one. Prosecutors in this country do it every day. Everything I did, and I mean everything, was justified under the law and the DA's official guidelines. I don't apologize for any of it.
What about the language problem? Didn't it occur to you that Lima doesn't speak English?
Says who? Lima? He could be lying. Many times they lie about their language abilities when it suits them. If you want to take the heat for going soft on an illegal alien, Judge, be my guest. My job is not to assume facts in the light most favorable to the defense. It is to present the evidence as I see it. And there is more than enough evidence here to convict Lima. I would like to do that. I would like to do my job. May I please?
I would say that depends on what you do in the next 30 seconds. Dismiss the case now, on your own motion, based on a lack of faith in your own evidence, or I'll do it on my own based on your misconduct. You crossed the line. Fortunately, I can stop this from being more of an injustice than it already has been. That man out there is innocent. Let him go. Or I will. You, go. You, stay.
You're not gonna kiss me, are you?
What?
Nothing.
I heard a rumor that you were back. I didn't believe it. I still don't. But you did okay out there. Okay enough, I'll lift the second chair order. You don't need a co-pilot anymore. But get out of here.
What'd the judge say?
Nothing. I just had to sign a dismissal form.
Takot na takot ako.
Where's the interpreter?
They leave right after the dismissal.
Salamat. Maraming salamat.
Okay, yeah. You're welcome, I think. We gotta get this guy a green card.
Salamat. Maraming salamat.
You know, sometimes this job doesn't suck. Look, I apologize if I did anything to upset you. I hope there's no hard feelings.
What the hell was that? Don't you ever kiss me again.
I didn't kiss you before. I didn't.
And you didn't beat me. Your associate did. You never beat me.